Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Being Christian versus being conservative. Or is it the same? Or is it the complete opposites? Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds. This is probably going to cause some emails coming in, them flooding my inbox. Might offend some people, but this has been on my mind and even on my heart. And I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm gonna record this and see where it goes. It all kind of started from the Super Bowl. And if you've been living underneath a rock and didn't know, there was a controversial Super Bowl with this character, Bad Bunny. Never even heard of Bad Bunny until started making names of the Super Bowl. And then you had essentially a divide, if you will, amongst a lot of conservatives and some Christians that wanted to have a different sort of Super Bowl halftime show with Kid Rock and a handful of others, more supposed to be wholesome, I guess. Truth be told, if you look at the lyrics from both of the people, and by the way, before you bash me, I like Kid Rock. We actually moved. If you listen to my last podcast, we've been moving here and I found a bunch of my old CDs. I own a Kid Rock CD. I like Kid Rock. However, I wouldn't put it up there as the thing that I want my young kids to listen to either in terms of nice Christian wholesome music. It's just not. It'd be tough for someone to argue that it is if you really do listen to the lyrics. All that being said, we essentially had this divide where you got half the country was supporting Bad Bunny because of whatever reasons, and half the country, doesn't like Bad Bunny and thinks it should be boycotted and wants to have, Kid Rock and a more wholesome family faith, freedom on Turning Point. And I'm not here to argue either side. I don't really care. I didn't care personally. We had a lot going on with the move, and our kids were tired. We were leaving my parents' house right around that time to go home. So I didn't even get to see a full real halftime show as it is. But the next day is when it got interesting with a lot of people on social media, and I went onto social media to see what people were saying. And I had a friend, meaning it's someone who I'm friends with. I have almost 5,000 people I'm friends with. So there's a lot of people amongst all kinds of spectrums. Some, this person happened to be someone I knew from growing up that I have not communicated with in a long time, but very, very vocal about their thoughts on Kid Rock, and that, put Bad Bunny aside, but that, that Christians should be ashamed of themselves was really kind of the headline. And I started reading the comments, and, everyone's bashing, the Christian conservatives, want to do this thing on Turning Point, and, hear the lyrics that Kid Rock was talking about and underage girls and all that. I was like, all right, first of all, time out. And I didn't comment on this because there's nothing I could say or do that was going to change their mind. But I reading the comments, it really opened my eyes to how many people out there think that just because someone is conservative means they're Christian. And I think maybe that's a reason that Christianity in general is getting such a bad rap. I don't think that's the only reason, but it's certainly not helping, because all these people in this comment thread, and there was a lot of comments, and not just them, you can find this anywhere, just search on social media. They're bundling these two together, and I think that's a disservice to Christianity. And let's just take a step back and let's define Christianity, right? It's followers of Christ. And what did Christ stand for? Like, what was, if you could boil it down to like a word that Christ was putting on his chest, that he was essentially marching forward with every day, it would have to be love, right? He led with love. He loved others. He loved people that, that weren't getting a lot of love at their time. And there are so many conservatives, and we can go all the way up to the president, whether you love him or hate him. He's certainly conservative. He claims he's Christian, but personally, I don't think any of the past few presidents have really led with love. No matter what they're going to say that they're Christian or they've been to church or used to go to church or whatever, I just don't. Like I said, might offend some people. And I think you guys know where I stand. Personally, I am a Christian conservative, but I don't think those two always go hand in hand, especially with politics and with everything. I mean, if you truly are loving and you're trying to be like Jesus, you don't sit there and make fun of other people all day long and ridicule people and curse at them. And I think part of this issue that drives me bonkers is that Christianity is just getting kind of thrown out with the bathwater because people just hear, oh, it's conservative, and that must just mean it's Christian. And so this will be a short and sweet podcast because I don't want to keep offending people over and over because I'm sure I've ruffled some feathers. But I think that should be a timeout for all of us to say, you know what, maybe Joe's right, or maybe he's not. But maybe I should look at how I'm treating other people, and am I leading with love, or am I just leading with hatred towards the other side? Because I had a podcast about this before, about this, what I'm calling like this upcoming potential civil war of two sides that can't agree on anything, continue to get worse and worse, won't listen, won't unite, won't agree on anything, and a country can't grow, like truly grow, if you have two sides that absolutely hate each other and hate everything about each other, and the second they hear it's the other person's idea, just want to automatically bash it. Now, Christianity getting thrown out with anything related to being conservative, it's a recipe for disaster. And so me personally, I think we all have the right to do what we want, but I'm looking at in my life and how I'm treating others and what I'm saying about others, both in front of their face and behind closed doors, because I'm certainly not perfect and certainly have said some things about the other side. Let's just say that we're not loving. And so I'm many of these podcasts are for me just as much as they are for anyone who might be listening. Just a reminder to me, I got to lead with love and be more like Jesus. And the other day I had I talk about reading this Bible, the 1 Year Bible. Highly recommend it, by the way. And at the end, so you have a book from the Old Testament, New Testament, and you have a Psalm and then a Proverbs. And the Psalm, I'm just going to read it. It's Psalm 33, 12 through 22. So this is my Psalm for the day. I woke up to it too, and it says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he chose for his inheritance. From heaven, the Lord looks down and sees all mankind. From his dwelling place, he watches all who live on earth. He who forms the hearts of all, who considers everything they do. No king is saved by the size of his army. No warrior escapes by his great strength. A horse is a vain hope for deliverance. Despite all its great strength, it cannot save. But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear him, on those whose hope is in his unfailing love, to deliver them from death and keep them alive in famine. We wait and hope for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in his holy name. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you." I don't just hit home for me, just a great reminder that he is looking down on all of us, not just conservatives or liberals, or can't even say the word, Christians, etc. And to me, it's just a good reminder, seeing how divided we are, that we have to have essentially two Super Bowl halftime shows. And I understand why. I understand the reasoning behind it, or why people felt that way. But man, what is it going to look like next year, right? I mean, if you were a betting person, would you bet it's going to get better or worse? And I'm sadly betting worse, unless we all become more loving and more like Jesus. And that's just going to take both sides. And I personally I struggle seeing that happen. So what's the next best thing? Well, we can be the best versions of ourselves and the best versions of our families, and loving our neighbors as ourselves. Do everything the Bible's called us to do. So to me, this whole halftime show and the division over the Super Bowl, and this won't be the last thing, right? There'll be countless more. Just a good reminder that even though we can't fix, like individually, we can't fix this country, we can fix ourselves, and that's where it all starts. So just wanted to share that. It was on my heart. Been thinking a lot about it, and especially reading some of these comments from people, including friends, that just automatically assume everything conservative is Christian, and it's not. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't even know which way it would be. But love you guys. Hope this is helpful. If you have thoughts on this, I'm sure this will be an ongoing discussion. I don't think we've heard the end of it. Hit me up, joe@saltstrong.com.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.